Hey guys, welcome back. And in today's video, I've got a special guest here. We've got Houston defensive lineman, last fullback, Derek Parish. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm really looking forward to this. It's always a good time.
Yeah, for
My
sure.
first question I'd like to ask, you had a bicep injury in September. How's that healing? Is it doing better? How are you feeling now?
No, it's doing pretty well. I felt strong in the shrine game and practice all week. So, I mean, it's in the past now. So that's how I'm feeling about it.
That's great. It's always good to see injuries, obviously part of the game, but you're coming back from it, and you did look very nice at the East West Shrine Bowl. What was it like playing in that game? What kind of things did you learn when talking with different scouts, coaches? Like, what were some of the big takeaways from that weekend for you?
Shoot, I mean, just knowledge, and in terms of football itself, just knowledge of the offensive playbook, like really deep dive into what it means. Because coming from a defensive side, originally it's like another language. So knowing what words mean what, and different route concepts and stuff like that. It was good to learn and grow your IQ of the game. And there was a lot of wisdom with the guest speakers they had. I got everything written down in my notes, but I mean, honestly, felt like an honor too. Being invited and playing because I didn't find out it was going on to like 1926 till I got there, and that's
Yeah.
that's a long time. So it's it's really an honor, honestly. So I had a blast.
That's amazing. Have you always played on the defensive side of the ball? Is that kind of where you've come from? So the whole offensive side, is that a completely new concept to you?
No, so originally I played in Little League. I played fullback, D end, and then I played receiver. I played running back in middle school. I mean, I've kind of floated around on both sides growing up, but I
So I
mean,
guess a better
offense,
question to ask, what position haven't you played on the football field?
shoot. I feel like if I was like 205, I could be a great safety, but I haven't played safety yet.
Yeah. That's wild though. It's very rare to find players like you that have just played everywhere on the field. It's a very special trait to have. Obviously, you're training getting ready for the NFL draft coming up, trying to boost your stock and everything. So what is your daily training schedule looking like right now? Take me through your daily routine from when you wake up to the rest of the day.
Shoot. So up at 5:30, I stay about 15 minutes away. Get there at 6:30. I eat breakfast, oatmeal, and then we start at 7. It's usually like medical or recovery, like we'll get in boots, or like if you got rehab, prehab, you'll do it in the training room. On the field at 8:15, depending on what day, we're out there for about hour and a half, 2 hours. Go back, get lunch, work on combine drills, and then we'll lift. And then like an ice tub, ice bath after, and that's probably about all the way to 4:30.
Wow.
So I mean, it's
Say,
it's a journey. I mean, it's a lot, but it's really not. You know,
yeah. Next question I kind of had going back to your injury for just a second. The rehab process. What was that like? What was that like going through that?
I mean, it was definitely frustrating not being able to play. As a football player, the one thing you want to do is play, but like just I guess staying down and then just working on your come up, rehab every day. I mean, first 2 weeks you're really not doing much because stitches and stuff like that, like letting the tendon heal and stuff. But I mean, I take the process hard because I knew what was on the other side of it, so I had to be ready for that, and that's just kind of the mindset I took it on with. So
Yeah, interesting. Haven't when talking, haven't really had to encounter a big injury like that. So I'm curious. I've never experienced an injury myself. So I don't know what the rehab process looks like for most athletes. So kind of I would like to take a little bit of a back step here and like a little bit of background on your football life. Where did it start? Where did the love for football begin? Take us through your childhood up to your high school and then going to Houston.
shoot, well, I started football when I was 6. I did a year of flag football, and then after that, I got recruited to this PFL league that was starting at this little league in my area. And first year, I played the first year it opened. I played offensive guard first. My first year, I played offensive guard, But I really don't count that because it was like everybody was the same size, and just blocking. But so after that, I went to fullback, and then I think junior senior year I ended up doing running back too. And we were cold. We only lost 2 games in 4 years.
Wow.
We were solid. So that was like, starting football and winning. Like winning is fun. It cures everything, they say in football. And I guess that's what it was because it was a blast. I went into junior high ball, playing fullback and defensive end, outside linebacker. That was fun. And really going into high school, my freshman year, I tore I had shoulder surgery, which kept me out for the season. So that was the real first like adversity with like, football, the sport. So I was, dealing with that, getting right with that. And I go into my sophomore year. I had a good off season, recovered well from the shoulder. Ended up going into my sophomore year on varsity, starting as middle linebacker. So even right now, it's probably like 3, 4 different positions.
Yeah.
So I play linebacker, sophomore, junior year. Sophomore year was fun. Junior year was okay. My season wasn't great, but uh, I ended up going into senior year as a defensive lineman, like an edge, like a 5 tech, and I had a great season. And I had committed to U of H. Oh yeah, backtrack. I committed to U of H going into my junior year. I went to one of the camps when Coach Herman was head coach, offered me at a camp, and then I had committed before that junior season. So I was committed to U of H for 2 years, and then after that went into college, redshirted, played middle linebacker. My redshirt freshman year played B backer, outside linebacker, and then once Holgerson's staff came in, I played defensive end and like a sprinkle of fullback. So I mean, just like I guess the love grew out of playing all these different positions and always being around the game. Like, I got friends for life through football, and I
Yeah.
think I think it helps, kind of understand who you are. Kind of sharpens you up. It instills you life lessons that will go on in the real world. Loving your brother, all of that. With everything going on, I think it's a great situation. Like, if the world was like a locker room, everybody would be cool because everybody's going to work, all of that. So I guess just being around the team and just, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. Just you kind of sacrifice everything for it. So it's kind of
No,
special.
no, I totally get what you mean. I played basketball. I always wanted to play football, and my parents were afraid of injury, so I never got to actually play, but I was always a basketball player. And I know what you mean. The camaraderie and the brothership in sports is one of the best aspects of it because I've got friends that I've made through basketball that are some of my closest friends. So I definitely understand where you're coming from there. And that's really cool. You've just been involved your entire life. What was it that drew you to U of H? What was it that made you want to sign the scholarship your junior year and not potentially waited out your senior year to see if maybe some other scholarship offers were to sprinkle in?
Sure. Well, like I said, Herman was a head coach then. And since it was down the road, I was going to a bunch of practices and I liked what they were doing. And I was like, okay, it's Houston, it's home. So I decided to commit there and ride that out. So, I mean, it was kind of impulsive decision. I just kind of called them up and said, "Hey, I commit." You know what I mean? So it was. I would say probably it might have been early, but I mean I wouldn't change it. You know?
So were they the only school that offered you a D1 scholarship, or were there other
Yeah.
schools that did it?
So they were the first school to recruit me, and like I hopped on that commitment early, but no schools talked to me during my commitment until Coach Herman had went to Texas, and then more schools started. Because you think about decommitting and stuff, but it was 2 months before signing day, and a lot of draft classes, like recruitment classes, were full. So, I
So
mean, I just stayed with it.
when the coaching staff did change, did you ever consider decommitting and going to a different school, or what was going through your mind when the staff changed like that?
You talking about going into high school or when
Well, when
Augustin
the
came in?
coaching staff, the Houston coaching staff changed to the new regime.
Oh, I mean, yeah, because I was frustrated. I wanted to go to Texas, if I'm being honest. Like that was my dream school growing up. So not going to that kind of put a chip on my shoulder going into this new situation. I mean, I took it as an opportunity, regardless.
Yeah, and the chip on your shoulder, do you think it helped elevate your play to get to that next level.
I agree. Yeah, most definitely. I think because I'm not the tallest, fastest, like the longest. So I think that chip gives me an edge.
Yeah, for
So
sure. And a
so
lot of things in doing some scouting and reading, a lot of people um, just love your toughness on the field. That's one of the things that a lot of people point out as one of your biggest strengths. And so I think that's really cool. You were, prior to your injury, probably having the best season of your collegiate career. You had 5 sacks in your first 4 games, and then the injury happened. But what changed going into your senior season that helped that play just take another level? What happened in the off season that really helped advance your play?
so back in that off season, the first day of school, I had double hip surgery, and I played with the two stress fractures in my pelvic bones all last season. And then, it got worse progressively as the season went on. But that was an issue during the season. And I'm pretty sure I had that injury from high school because, like, there's a lot of things you kind of notice that pain's always there, but it got worse as the season went on. So I had double hip surgery in the off season, and I missed the first 8 weeks and spring ball. So I mean, just leaving that alone, that's like, I was always someone who didn't miss ball, like never missed practice, lit games, like, so that kind of stung me and gave me a big chip, because missing practice and workouts, if you're a team player, it makes you feel like you're not for the team, like you're not doing yourself, like you're not doing your part basically. And I seen that as just growing a chip because when I come back, it was, go a lot harder, and especially being the last season, you got to kind of let it all out.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you were killing it. And it is very unfortunate the timing of the injury because, I mean, who knows what you could have accomplished that year. Um, Talking about your team, though, you guys had some really nice players and a few guys that are planning on going to the draft. Nathaniel Tank Dell, Clayton Toon. I mean, you've got
Oh
some nice
yeah.
players. What do you
Yep.
have to say about those guys?
Oh yeah, we got dogs. Like we got dogs at Houston, and like a lot of people come into school transferring in. They think it's sweet because it's little old Houston, but no, you have to compete. You have to earn your way onto the field, and I think that's what got instilled in those guys. They was always competing. They was always trying to beat each other in practice. The competition is very, I think, elite at Houston, and I think that's what makes them great players.
Yeah, I was watching some of Tank Dell at the Senior Bowl. And the dude's electric. He's going to be so much fun at the next level.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Yeah. But you're such an interesting player, as I kind of talked about in the intro here. Edge, linebacker, fullback. What's it like trying to juggle all three of these positions on the field? Would you say it's easy, difficult? I mean, how would you describe all that?
I mean, it's gotten easier the more I understand the game of football. Meaning, like, because I played backer, I played outside linebacker, and now DN. I'm able to know where I'm able to understand plays and calls to where everybody's job is. So if you know where your help is as a DN and where your backside help is in the fits, then you can play a lot smoother and cleaner, less thinking. So same thing if I go play linebacker, it's the same thing. Understanding the play call as a linebacker, but I know that DN's fit because I played it. You know what I mean? So understand it like the chess game aspect of it, I think is what's giving me an edge. So
Yeah, it makes total sense. When talking with NFL scouts or with coaches, teams, do you kind of get a hint on what position they might want you to be at the next level?
shoot, I mean, we've talked about all positions, but I mean, I always tell them whatever you want me to be my role, I will do it with a smile on my face and I'll do it with passion. Like, just having an opportunity to play on a NFL team, I think that's like, lifelong goal. I'll earn my way wherever, however. So
Yeah, absolutely. And of the three positions that you've played, at least at the collegiate level, do you have a favorite of the three? Do you have a favorite place to line up on the field? And if so, why is that your favorite?
I don't know. I've been having a blast running routes and catching passes. But it's something about getting a sack as a DN. Man, that's my top position. So, but I
Yeah.
mean, maybe you make some shake with the football. I might overdo it. So I mean,
Mhm.
just shoot. I mean, I have fun playing all of them. So
Yeah. And it seems like just getting to talk with you. to you, it doesn't really matter about the stats. You just love the game of football, which is so you don't really. I feel like it's something we don't see a ton of people that just love the game for the game, and so I do really appreciate that. And
I
it's
appreciate that. Thank you.
going to make you a valuable asset at the next level. Someone that wants to be on the field and will play through injury. I was reading you played through a hand injury. You're tough,
Yeah, that
and
was
so
crazy.
um, but I did want to say, SI recently compared you to Chick recently in your like speed, size, toughness. What's it like being compared to a guy like Kyle Juszczyk, who's been such a dominant player at his position for so long?
I mean, that's kind of what gives you confidence because I try to model my game after him because he's an athletic, shifty fullback who can block physical and can run out and catch a pass. So as a fullback, I want to be an athletic. My goal is to be used as a weapon, earn my way to be a weapon, and I I love watching him, and that's who I model my game after.
I was actually going to ask that question. Was he? So you say he's the player currently you model your game after. When you were growing up, was there a different player that you were watching that you're like, I want to be like that guy?
Troy Polamalu.
I
I
think
wore I
every
wore
kid wanted
43
to
in
be
Little
like
League
Troy
for that.
Polamalu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I love watching him as a player. Like I would watch his highlights before games and like junior high, Little League, and stuff. So
yeah. I'm a Colts fan, so we obviously got the Pat McAfee, Troy Polamalu thing. So that's never a fun thing. But I mean, Troy Polamalu is incredible. Um, if you could give a word of advice or encouragement to a kid who's in middle school that's feeling discouraged and they want to make it to the pros, what would you say to that kid?
you're gonna figure it out. Take it day by day. It's all right. It's I think football is. I think at that age it should be about fun because I think that's what gives you appreciation for the game when it comes down to business. And I think that love for the game is going to pull you through all that and make it less of a hassle. So I say just keep having fun, keep working hard, and just take it day by day. You got time.
Yeah. And then at the draft combine, is there anything that you're hoping that you're going to be able to show? What are you wanting to show while you're there?
That I can be a versatile asset to any team, whether it's pass rush, I'll be doing linebacker drills, fullback drills, I'll be running routes as well. Uh, so really just showing them, I'll be even long snapping too. So just showing them that I can be a valuable like piece to the puzzle of an organization and help a team win.
So that's another question I've been meaning to ask. Fullback is really looked at as like a dying position. There's only a handful of fullbacks in the league. I know we've got Derek Watt in Pittsburgh. We've got Ricard in Baltimore, Juszczyk, as we mentioned, in San Francisco. There's not many great fullbacks. So being a fullback yourself, what is that like kind of playing that position? And do you think that it might come back around in different offenses? Like, talk to me about the position itself.
Sure, I mean it's people say it's a dying breed, but I think and it means this is me being biased about being a fullback. I say if good offenses have fullbacks, whether it's like with Kyle or with Derek Watt, where one is used as a weapon, and slip route, blocking, lead play, 2 yard first down. Like I think if you instill those in your offense, I think it it's a better offense. But me speaking bias, but I mean it's a grittiness position. You physical, you don't get much playing time, but I mean you're there to make the lead block or get the first down or shoot get the slip pat. You know what I mean? So it's just like a grittiness position. You're called upon when you needed, and you're like I plan on I want to be the revive of it, like
Yeah.
what Kyle's doing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
show
absolutely.
that fullbacks can make plays too.
Have you gotten to talk to Kyle? Like, have you gotten an interaction with him at all?
No, no, I haven't. I didn't get to see anybody at the Pro Bowl whenever we were out there for Shrine. So maybe one day.
Yeah,
That's the
that'd be a
plan.
cool. Hey, I mean, if you're in the NFL, you never know. Um, I do want to. I always end my interviews the same way. We've gotten to know Derek Parish, the football player, but now let's kind of take a step away from that and let's get to know Derek Parish, the person. So I've got a list of rapid fire questions here, like to just get through really quickly and get to know you personally a little bit better.
Let's do
First,
it.
what's your favorite movie of all time?
Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I think that's the best Star Wars movie. I'm not a huge Star
Yeah.
Wars guy, but that's the one.
Oh, I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd about it.
I'm a nerd when it comes to Marvel. I love comics,
Yeah,
things like that. But Star
it's
Wars is
awesome.
just not really my thing. But I love Revenge of the Sith. What's your favorite food?
Ooh, a steak, a
Steak.
ribeye. Actually, not a tomahawk. I've had a tomahawk 3 times in my life, and I love it. It's my favorite. Probably a tomahawk.
When you get that first NFL check, I'm assuming there's gonna be a lot of tomahawk bought.
That day to be a tomahawk.
If you could go on a vacation to anywhere in the world, where are you choosing?
Greece. I'll probably go to Greece.
I'm realizing as we're talking, we've got so much in common here. Greece is at the top of my list as well.
That's
Um,
awesome.
musician, do you have a favorite artist?
I don't. I jam rock to punk to rap to trap to R&B to country. Like I mean, it just really depends. I probably have like 6,000 songs on my phone of all
Yeah.
different genres. So I couldn't tell you.
Are you more of a cat person or a dog person?
Dog, dog.
Yeah. Most people say dog. If you weren't a football player, is there what career field do you think you would have chosen?
I probably would try to be an artist because I draw. I like to draw, so I probably would expand on that.
That's awesome. I wish I could draw. I've never been very artistically gifted, but I've always wished I could draw. Then my final question for you, what's your favorite TV show?
TV show. It's between Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones. Game of
My
Thrones
friend
goes
told me I
hard.
need to get into Breaking Bad. Haven't seen it.
Really? Oh
I've
yeah,
not seen
yeah.
Breaking Bad.
You got to check it out. It's a great one.
Yeah, I plan on it, but haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, thank you so much again for coming on here. I had a blast, and hopefully we get to talk again. I'll be in touch, and wish you the best of luck through the draft combine and the NFL draft, and through your future NFL career.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Yep.